ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भगवतीतमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, Text number 36. उद्दाम भाव पिशुनामलवल्गुहास
उद्दाम भाव पिशुनामलवल्गुहास
व्रीडावलोक निहतो मदनोऽपि यासाम् सम्मूय चापम् अजहात परमदोत्तमास्ता यस्तेन्द्रियं विमथितुं कुहकैर्न सुखेसे कुः।
उद्दाम भाव पिशुनामलवल्गुहास
उद्दाम भाव पिशुनामलवल्गुहास
वृन्दावलोकनिहतो मदनोऽपि यसाम्
व्रीडावलोक निहतो मदनोऽपि यासाम् सम्मूय चापम् अजहात् प्रमदोत्तमास्ता
यस्तेन्द्रियं विमथितुं सुखार्णसुखु
यस्येन्द्रियं विमथितुं कुहकैर्न सुक्षेकुः उद्दाम very grave bhava expression pishuna exciting amala spotless Mulguhasa beautiful smiling vrida corner of the eye avaloka looking nihatah conquered madana cupid or amadana the greatly tolerant shiva api also yasam whose sammuya being overpowered by chapam bows ajahat gave up pramada woman who maddens uttama of high grade sa all yasya whose indriyam senses vimathitum to perturb kuha kahe by magical feats na never sheku was able. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Although the queen's beautiful smile and furtive glances were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tolerant Shiva could fall victim to them, still, despite all their magical feats and attractions, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. Please repeat. Although the queen's beautiful smiles and furtive glances were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tolerant Shiva could fall victim to them, still, despite all their magical feats and attractions, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. Purport. The path of salvation or the path going back to Godhead always forbids the association of women, and the complete Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram Dharma scheme forbids or restricts association with women. How then can one be accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, addicted to more than 16,000 wives? This question may be relevantly raised by inquisitive persons very anxious to know about the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. And to answer such questions, the sages at Naimisharanya have discussed the transcendental character of the Lord in this and in following verses. It is clear herein that the feminine attractive features which can conquer Cupid or even the supermost tolerant Lord Shiva could not conquer the senses of the Lord. Cupid's business is to invoke mundane lust. The whole universe is moving, being agitated by Cupid's arrow. The activities of the world are being carried on by the central attraction of male and female. A male is searching after a mate to his liking, and the female is looking after a suitable mate. That is the way of material stimulus. And as soon as a male is combined with a female, the material bondage of the living being is at once tightly interlocked by sex relation, and as a result of this, both the male and female attraction for sweet home, motherland, bodily offspring, society and friendship, and accumulation of wealth becomes the illusory field of activity. And thus a false but indefatigable attraction for the temporary material existence, which is full of miseries, is manifest. Those who are therefore on the path of salvation for going back home, back to Godhead, are especially advised by all scriptural instruction to become free from such paraphernalia of material attraction. And that is possible only by the association of the devotees of the Lord, who are called the Mahatmas. Cupid throws his arrow upon the living beings to make them mad after the opposite sex, whether the party is actually beautiful or not. Cupid's provocations are going on even among beastly societies who are all ugly looking in the estimation of the civilized nations. Thus, Cupid's influence is exerted even among the ugliest forms, and what to speak of the most perfect beauties. Lord Shiva, who is considered to be most tolerant, was also struck by Cupid's arrow because he also became mad after the Mohini incarnation of the Lord and acknowledged himself to be defeated. Cupid, however, was himself captivated by the grave and exciting dealings of the goddess of fortune, and he voluntarily gave up his bow and arrow in a spirit of frustration. Such was the beauty and attraction of the queens of the Lord Krishna, yet they could not disturb the transcendental senses of the Lord. This is because the Lord is all perfect Atmaram, or self-sufficient. He does not require anyone's extraneous help for his personal satisfaction. Therefore, the queens could not satisfy the Lord by their feminine attractiveness, but they satisfied him by their sincere affection and service. Only by unalloyed transcendental loving service could they satisfy the Lord, and the Lord was pleased to treat them as wives in reciprocation. Thus, being satisfied by their unalloyed service only, the Lord reciprocated the service just like a devout husband. Otherwise, he had no business becoming the husband of so many wives. He is the husband of everyone, but to one who accepts him as such, he reciprocates. This unalloyed affection for the Lord is never to be compared to mundane lust. It is purely transcendental. And the grave dealings which the queens displayed in natural feminine ways were also transcendental because the feelings were expressed out of transcendental ecstasy. It is already explained in the previous verse that the Lord appeared like a mundane husband, but factually his relation with his wives was transcendental, pure, unconditioned by the modes of material nature. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामी इति नामिने नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे उद्दाम भाव पिशुना मल वल्गुहास वृडावलोक निहतो मदनो पियासाम सम्भूय चापम अजहात प्रमोदत्तमास्ता यस्तेन्द्रियं विमत्थितुं कुहकैर्न शेकुः. Although the queen's beautiful smiles and furtive glances were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tolerant Shiva could fall victim to them, still, despite all their magical feats and attractions, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. Suta Goswami is now talking, last verse is talked about Krishna acting like a mundane husband, and we saw how he expanded into so many forms and was with each one of the queens. But here, Suta Goswami is explaining that Lord Krishna, although he was with all these beautiful princesses, queens, he was not agitated. That's the point, He was not agitated. Means he had no material attraction to them, which comes out of lust. Krishna is beyond this material conception, so he is transcendental. That's what the whole thing, nothing else. But Prabhupada explained in detail. But ultimately, it boils down to that point that there is nothing mundane or material about his activities. Because all these queens are also, we already established that they are all devotees, pure devotees of the Lord. And that's why they got this benediction of being with him. Not only taking part in his Leela, but taking a very important part and literally touching the Lord every day. Just touch of the Lord is more than enough. And Krishna, this is what we know that, the people talk very loose about this whole thing. But the point remains that as a devotee, we have to understand it properly and not encourage this kind of gossiping going on. Sometimes people start talking and then we have to stop that. When somebody starts talking, either you get away from there or you stop that person and say, that's not so. So that one time I gave that example of when Parikshit Maharaj was in the womb of Uttara and Ashwatthama released the Brahmastra. That's the time Krishna took a vow. He said, if only I am a Naistiki Brahmachari, that means I have not even touched a woman, then only this child should be saved. So people cannot digest this. They think that, because the problem is we see everything from our eyes, our point of view. We are never bothered about the scriptures and we are never bothered about what acharyas say. We just think that, because I am like that, so he must be like that. So there's very, very clear cut here. Lord just accepts all this as a service, not as a, although he is the only enjoyer, but still he doesn't require all this for his enjoyment. Of course, Lord loves association, no doubt about it, because when he was all alone in the first place, he wanted association and Radharani manifested from his body. So that also proves that we as human beings, being part and parcel of Krishna, we also need association. In fact, we see all the animals, everybody needs association. The moment the cow and her calf, they are separated, they just become so restless. Anytime we see the cats and the dogs and the birds, they all want association. So Lord, the best way to look at Lord is, through his devotees. The association can help a lot, no doubt about it. And it can spoil also a lot, because if you get into a wrong association, then you are gone. Whatever you have gained as bhakti can go. So one has to be very careful. So we know Krishna is transcendental, his wives are transcendental. They are absolutely nothing to do with this material, mundane lust. Thank you very much. Let's stop here. Any question, comment? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.